Hey there. I'm going to be talking about thoracic spine mobility, as well as running you through a guided session to improve your thoracic spine mobility. So your thoracic spine is basically your upper back from your base of your abdomen to the base of your neck. It is a very stable, strong area of your spine, but often is not mobile enough. And people will struggle with other ailments, whether it's neck pain, back pain, when it becomes stiff and does not move as much as it should. For us mountain bikers, we can get away with poor thoracic spine mobility up to a certain amount because we do not demand a lot of movement from the thoracic spine while we're riding. But with everyday life, seated for a long period of times, texting, and constantly being in a flex position and not utilizing the full range of extension and rotation that you can get out of the thoracic spine, eventually, if your thoracic spine and your posture continually worsens, you may start suffering from low back pain, neck pain, and maybe even numb hands while you're riding. These are obviously things you do not want to experience. So keeping your thoracic spine mobilized and moving well will help you reduce the risk of these chronic injuries. This mobility routine I will show you will help you improve your mobility. First, I'm going to go through a couple of tests. First, one item you'll need for this is a stool, a bench, a box, something that keeps allows you to sit with your hips at 90 degrees or slightly less. So slightly lower than this stool I'm on now. So first test is simply stay seated and then rotate to either side. If you can watch yourself, you should be able to get to approximately 45 degrees each way. Next one is to really test your thoracic spine mobility is to kneel down, sit back on your heels as far as you can, and place your forearms on the ground. Next, you're going to take one hand, put it behind your lower back, and then try to rotate up and point your elbow at the ceiling. You should be ideally able to go from elbow to elbow if it looks like it's a straight line. If there's any limitation in that, you're limited in your rotational thoracic mobility. So you test both sides. You'll probably quickly notice I have quite a bit less on my left side. For this mobility routine, things you will need is a foam roller, a stool, box, bench that allows you to sit with your hips at least at 90 degrees or lower, a dowel, some sort of dowel is great, and as well an option to have a band, a lightweight band, or a dumbbell or kettlebell. I don't have a dumbbell or kettlebell with me in the clinic right now, but I will put a picture for the exercise that requires a dumbbell to perform the exercise. So first, we're going to work on loosen up your thoracic spine with the foam roller. So we're going to spend about 30 to 60 seconds doing this. Lay on it, get to the base of the thoracic spine. You can clasp your hands behind your head to help you get some balance. You can roll up and down to see how the muscles feel. Loosen up the muscles a little bit. So you can start at the low and you can start doing some reverse crunches. Trying to bend your back over the foam roller, giving your thoracic spine more extension, range of motion. Do 2, 3, 4 at each. Go up a few inches. If you really want to get more pressure, you can lift your hips up off the ground, especially as you get closer to your neck. This can be beneficial. All right. Next, we're going to do a sideline exercise. So lay on your side, stack your knees on top of each other, pull your knees up with your bottom hand, hold the top knee down, and we're going to rotate try to get your hand and shoulder down to the ground. Pause for a few seconds and then repeat. And just breathe in gently through your nose. Try to relax. Allow a little bit more motion to come in. If you find you can easily touch your top shoulder and arm down to the ground, you can straighten the bottom leg, place that knee on top of the foot to lock that position in, then take your hand and arm of the bottom arm and pin that knee down to the ground. This will further allow you to mobilize your T-spine. Okay, it's been about 10 reps. We'll switch sides and stack knees. Hold that top knee down. And then, so starting with knees stacked, I find I'm mobile to the right, so I can move to the more advanced version. If you're not getting your arm down, stay with knees stacked. Don't feel the need to progress sooner than you're able to. Might feel your joints click and pop a little bit as they move. I don't know if my microphone's picking that up. All right. Next, we're going to work on actively the extension. So whether it's the bench or stool you have, we're going to get your elbows up on it. And then you're going to let your arms extend above your head so your biceps are by your ear. And you're pushing, thinking of lowering your chest to the ground. Do little repetitions just to loosen up. So you'll feel a mixture of a stretch in your lats under your armpits, as well as even in your thoracic spine. If this is too intense for you on your elbows, you can always go to straight hands. This gives your shoulders a little bit more room to move. But if you can, I really love the with elbows on, and you can really focus on trying to get your thoracic spine flat. You're not likely to get it perfectly flat because it's not meant to move that way, but just the thought of trying to extend it and stretch it out. Next, just like the test, we're going to actively move through this new range of motion we just gained through that sideline rotation stretch. So we're going to sit back on our heels, hand on the ground. We're going to grab the back of your neck or head, and we're going to try to thread the needle, elbow in between the gap between your hand and knee, and then rotate to point your elbow up at the ceiling. Pause and gently try to push a little bit further. I'm just trying to make us extend through my bottom hand that's on the floor, through to my elbow, pointing up at the ceiling. And we'll get about 10 reps in here before switching. Getting a little bit better control of the movement, getting a little bit further each time. All right, and we'll switch sides. Same thing. If at any time during this you feel like one side or one particular exercise you can use more reps or another set on, either feel free to pause the video or at the end just add in another set of that exercise. All right. right, now we're going to keep actively moving through this range of motion. Next, we're going to sit on the stool or bench, whatever you have available. Clasp your hands behind your head. You're going to rotate one way and then side bend. And hold and return. And alternate sides. Most likely going to feel this. A stretch on the side of the spine where of the elbow that is pointing up. And keep switching back and forth. Get about 10 each side. Just a gentle hold. Try to push a little bit deeper. Don't overstrain. You should be able to breathe easily and not hold your breath. As you can see, I'm able to talk through it all. This is not a max effort. All right. Next, grab a dowel, or if you don't have a dowel, you can simply hold one hand up in the air and perform the movement as will be demonstrated with via a dumbbell in the picture-in-picture. So grab the dowel, place it on your back, feet wide, toes pointed out. So we're going to rotate and then hinge at the hips. So I'm rotating to the right and hinging into the right hips. This exercise is great to incorporate the various parts of the body, hips, thoracic spine, shoulders. Just alternate on the, if you're doing it with the dowel, feel free to alternate sides like I am. If you're doing it with a dumbbell, as you can see in the picture-in-picture, it's just one dumbbell above your head, doing one side at a time. So I'll do about 10 reps each side. You may notice you're less mobile one way than the other, whether it's partially uneven thoracic spine rotation. Mine is also partially because of hips, but don't try to cheat and use weird movements just to look like you're moving farther. Really focus on sinking in and stretching the tissues, whether it's muscles or joints that need more mobility. Let them soften up on their own. There you go. Next, this is going to be a kneeling reverse chop. So you can, a light band is nice to do this. You can do it holding a dumbbell. And I'll have a picture-in-picture of a demonstration with a dumbbell. So line up so about the band is attached close to the ground next to you. You'll rotate looking that way. So you'll pull, rotate, and press. And then reverse the movement. Break it up into these 3 movements to make it nice and smooth so that you get equal amounts of contribution from each body part, from your hips, your lumbar spine, your lower back, and your thoracic spine. You don't need to do a max weight or resistance on this, although that is added to workouts. This is more just to add light resistance to new movement. You'll also notice your glutes getting in on the act here. Okay, and switch. I'll have my back to you. right, there you go. So there you have it. Hopefully your upper back is feeling a little bit looser. You may even notice just from that, some of the aches and pains that you've been suffering from are starting to improve already. So feel free to save this video, go back to it whenever you can. Consistent completion of a routine like this will give you the best chance of results. So thank you for watching and thank you for following along. Let me know if you have any questions.